What is going on, Alpha Hunters? Hopefully, you're having a very terrific Thursday. Market is a little bit higher. Let's just go ahead and take a look and see what kind of data we got this morning because we finally got to the back end of the week where we were going to start to get some data. Initial jobless claims did obviously come out this morning. Initial jobless claims did come in at 218K compared to the forecast calling for 225K, and prior was 222K. So forecasters were expecting a little bit of a rise there compared to prior, but we actually took a little bit of a decrease there. So okay, that is how it came in. We also got some GDP type numbers. GDP growth rate Q quarter over quarter final. Kind of interesting. We came in at 3%, which was spot on from forecast. So there you go. Not really too much kind of going on there. Durable goods, corporate profits, PCE, core adjustment. Nothing changed there. We did see the market pop pretty good there. You can take a look at pre-market. It was kind of just all night. Futures kind of traded higher. You can see we got a little squirrely there. Started to see a little bit of wicks kind of thrown around, but it was mostly all overnight pre-market stuff, so it wasn't even had to do with data this morning. Anyways, nice gap up here on the SPY, and that was about all she wrote. Right, we gapped up about 0.75%, and you can see we've just kind of faded down, especially here over the past 20 minutes, pushing down pretty good. Take a look at the Qs. Qs had a monster gap. We'll check this out on the daily, but I mean, this thing gapped up 1.5%, or a little bit more than 1.5%, just slightly more. But you can see the fade that is going on here. Like, tech is getting outside of that gap up. Tech's getting wrecked. So I'll be curious to see how that sector rotation looks during the day there for tech. Once we take out that gap. IWM, nice gap up here on the IWM. Kind of got faded all day yesterday. Anyways, gapped up 1.25%, currently up 0.4%. Qs is slightly positive, and SPY is about 0.2% positive right now. But we are seeing some pretty good bearishness currently, so we'll see how long that lasts. DIA did gap up roughly 0.5%. It's currently up about 0.5%. You can see not too much going on there with the DIA. RSP kind of holding tough. So a lot of the bearishness that we're seeing is coming out of tech. We can see the RSP just kind of moving sideways. Kind of has like a double top action going on here. But it did gap up roughly 0.75%, because that's about where it currently is right now. That is how the RSP looks. As far as how it looks intraday, did we make a new high here? Let's see. High as of last week was 178.83. Today we got up to 178.81. So not quite. We missed new highs there on the RSP by 2 pennies. DIA, a little bit of a gap up. Nice little doji. It kind of looks like it's just going sideways, waiting for the moving averages to come up, push it higher. I would expect that to probably happen maybe tomorrow, maybe early next week. But yeah, DIA probably does continue to go higher. Just kind of got hit all day with the sell yesterday. IWM got hit pretty good yesterday as well. Nice gap up today. Obviously, it's selling down from the open. Kind of an interesting one. Not really even trying to bounce all that much this week. I did try to bounce a little bit there on Tuesday, but obviously yesterday come back out and sold down. Not looking all that great. Qs, look at that huge gap on the Qs, man. Look at that thing. That thing is huge. So what's interesting about this gap on the Qs is we actually did now fill this lower wick gap all the way back to June 16th. So we have now like overlaid with that. That was kind of the spot where we kind of talked about, like, once we kind of fill this gap here back from kind of like that mid-June time period, from that gap down that we had on June 17th, like, that's probably going to be a spot where we see some pretty good bearishness. At least people selling. Is that going to be the top of this run that we've had? I mean, it's very, very, very possible. It's very possible. Maybe we trend higher here in the next couple days, but maybe we don't get back up to that high that we just put in this morning, because, I mean, the amount of selling and fading that we've already seen the first hour and a half of today from that gap up is crazy. I mean, we basically just got back to the neutral from a 1.5% gap up there on the Q, so pretty brutal. Anyways, SPY gapped up to all-time highs and then it's faded down as well. Led a whole lot by by the Qs. We'll just make sure we just check all the things that we need to check. Not a whole lot going on right now in the world of economic data or earnings or anything like that. So VIX continue to push a little bit lower, kind of flat there on the daily right now. Not really doing a whole lot there on the VIX. DXY actually wound up bouncing by the end of the day yesterday. Okay, small day today, not really doing anything there on the dollar. So be curious to see if what it does by the end of day today and maybe even tomorrow. But dollar DXY still just sideways chopping down here. Okay. GLD continuing to look very, very strong. GLD looks so good. Yields continuing to look like they're coming back to life as well. Nice little doji action coming in today. Did get above Tuesday's high, but has not held over it. Maybe we will by the end of the day. Let me check. So we did get some squirreliness going on when we got some of that economic data about an hour before the market opened. Okay. Yields 10 and 2 inversion. Not really doing a whole lot. Coming back down a little bit today. But, I mean, we're well over the zero line now. Let me just check the 1. How's the 10 and 1 doing? So, the 10 and 1 is... I don't know why the line is not loading, but zero line's about right there. So, we're still a little bit of ways from it. Still got a little bit of room to go there. As far as the HYG, nice little gap up, and it has faded. Okay. It has faded. You definitely want to see this thing bounce now because, I mean, it definitely seemed like we got that flag pattern, a little bit of that triangle kind of basing out here the past couple days. Honestly, we had the bounce this morning, so you definitely are probably having stop losses just below the lows of the past couple days, because if that was the try to bounce and then we just roll over, we're gonna come down kind of hard, maybe even all the way back down to this top area. So yeah, we'll see. LQD, and this might be a little precursor to maybe what the HYG does, because the LQD continue to push lower. Okay, so LQD continuing to push lower, trying to break through that 20 EMA. We'll see if it holds it by the end of the day today. TLT bouncing off that 50, a little bit of a lower wick there. All right, taking a look at the sector rotation. This is gonna be a good one. Good look today. Energy's lower end of the day. Look at that gap down that they got hit with. Start. Wow. Real estate. Yeah, real estate, utilities, discretionaries, communications, and healthcare underperforming. Okay. Staples kind of in line with the market there. Financials a little bit outperforming. Industrials a little bit outperforming as well. Tech outperforming, and then materials at the higher end of the day. This is going to be the interesting one, right? Is looking at how the market's doing without the gaps. And you see tech really getting hammered today after that gap up. I mean, they're down roughly 1% just intraday. They did get down about 1.5%, right? And that kind of makes sense. I mean, the Q's gapped up about 1.5%. They faded all the way down just about neutral. So yeah, there you go. Tech underperforming. Discretionary is also underperforming, as well as communications. All the tech, big tech centric areas, all kind of underperforming there on the day. Real estate slightly underperforming right now. Industrials outperforming. Utilities doing pretty good. Energies, financials, healthcare doing pretty solid. And then materials and staples up at the higher end of the day. So energies have actually performed okay during the day. They just got hit with a huge gap down to start the day.